All right, so we are in Blender, and now we want to see what we did in Gaia. So what we do is we press Shift A. So let me just press N, and then I will show you my screencast keys, and then you can see what I press. So let me get a mesh, and we do let's say S10, press 7, and then we can just measure that. And then we do know that this is 20 by 20 meters. So this is just an example. Maybe we should go even a little bigger. Let's say 1.5. So now this is like 30 meters. Yeah. So I think this should be enough. And then let's give this a subdivision, just a couple of subdivisions. Just repeat this a couple of times. And then you can also get a modifier generate, and we would want to generate the subdivision surface. And let's do 2. And cat mode clock is fine because we want to have it smooth. And then you can go to add modifier, deform, and then we're going to use the displace on top of that. And then you click on this texture here, click on new, open up. And then let's search for the EXR file. So this is basically the last node we did the output. Right, so we can just use this, and you can already see we have like a black and white mask. So this is behaving like our displacement texture. So now this is being displaced. You can see this a little bit, and let's go back to the modifiers, and let's try mid-level of 0. And then we can actually adjust the strength to maybe something like 10. So you can see this is way too much. So let's do 4. And now 4 should be alright. Maybe let's do 3. So you have to consider when we use a reference, let's get a cylinder. Let's press 1. And we want to have this cylinder, right? Let's do it here. GY, let's put it here in the beginning. And then press 1. You can also click on the X-ray here. So on top right, X-ray. And then you can just put it here. So now you can see this is perfectly aligned. This is also something, we can get rid of this later, this thing here, but for now it's fine. So let's just put it here. So this should be like a reference, like a human reference. So let me just let's do like human size, 1.74 m. Which means we need to scale this one down, put it here. So now we have human reference. And then you can also Shift-Z and scale it to make it slim, like so. Just to have like approximately like the human reference. And this one we don't need. Okay, so now you can see what's going on. So it's not really big, right? So maybe we can just increase this a little more. Let's do again S 1.2, maybe like so. And now we have a size of like 36 meters, I believe, on both axes. Yeah, 36. So this should be maybe like our vegetation size, maybe like our small environment, okay? Good. So now let's check the path here. So what we can do as well, click on the X-ray, go in edit mode by pressing tab, and then face, and then we can just get rid of this one here. And let me see. Yes, and we also need to get rid of this weird stuff. So you can also just click here, Alt Shift click, and here Alt Shift click, and here Alt Shift click, and then X faces. Go back into object mode, and you can see when you turn off here the X-ray, you can see that we got rid of those ugly edges. And it's still a little blurry here. We don't have much topology, to be honest, for this big terrain. So we can also just increase. Yeah, so let's do 4 levels. And then we can just, maybe let's go for 3.5. Yeah. let's see if we just walk here. So maybe when we are here, and then, sorry for that, press 1. And then you can also just view in edit mode, view frame selected here. So we are in front. Then you have an idea approximately. Yeah, but I want to have this maybe a little bigger. So get this more up, I should say. So what you can do, you click on like maybe this face and this and this and this, like even points. This is like one thing you can do, and then you click on proportional editing, and let's get let's keep smooth, and then just GZ, and then you can with the mouse wheel you can just make this big. Let's do like so. But maybe it's better to just select this whole line here, or maybe you can also just get this whole thing. And then GZ, and then we can make it smaller, not bigger, smaller, like so. And then we can just raise that, and then you can see, I think this is more convincing. So when we just walk, then we have like maybe like a house here on this hillside, basically small hill. And then we have like smaller elements here on left and right. And this will function as like some sand and puddles and stuff like that. And then here we're gonna have like some biomes, grass, soil, stuff like that, and foliage on the backside. Apply the subdivision first, and then apply the displacement. Now we have a mesh which has even topology, and it's quite dense, as you can see. If you want to know like how many faces we have, you can just go to statistics. And this has like 4 million faces. So maybe this is a little too much because we cannot use Nanite when we vertex paint. Vertex paint in Unreal Engine 5 is not working for Nanite. So as of now, as far as I know. So maybe they fixed that, maybe they got an update, but last time I did vertex paint, Nanite is not possible. So what you can do, we can also get a... let me just undo that. I think this is cleaner. You can also use like a decimate modifier, but let me just undo that a couple of times. All right, and then let's get the, let's do 3. Let's see. Maybe we don't even need to use the 3. Let's shade smooth. I think even 2 is enough, so let's just apply 2. 2 levels, and then apply the displacement. Oh, sorry for that. Again, delete this measurement. Okay, so now we have this terrain, and we can import this now into Unreal Engine. But before I do this, let me make sure that this is completely flat. So what you can do as well, in X-ray, you can just select everything here, like so. And then just make it a little bigger. And then disable the proportional editing, SZ0. So this is now perfectly straight. And then you can just GZ and move it down, like so. So this is one approach, and then we can scope this maybe, because this is not really something we want to have. So this is what we can do, but let me just go back. Let me just make this a little smaller, maybe like so. SZ0, so this is perfectly flat. And then we can just GZ, scale it down, like so. And then you go into the scoped mode. And then you can just look for smooth. Where is it? I never really use the sculpt mode inside Blender, so this is why I have to search smooth. Get this one. Make this a little bigger, and then just do like so. So now, of course, this is more natural. Just get rid of this stuff here. So, but now we know that this is like some kind of path, and this needs to be perfectly flat because we want to have puddles. So at least I want to have puddles. So I'm not sure about you, but let me just put this here, and then you can see this road is not really big, but I think it's enough. Okay, cool. Then I can get rid of this reference here. And then let's just save this as silent hill terrain. So now we can start basically with the blockout phase, which means we will just now, when you're in object mode, sorry for that, object mode, click on this, Control A, all transforms. So now this is on reset basically, and then you can go into UV editing, and we need to, of course, we need to fix the UVs because if we have like one texture, or one texture is like maybe 2 by 2 meters or 1 by 1 meter, which is usually when we use like terrain textures, this is not really accurate because this whole thing is like 36 meters on the U and on the V, or on the X and Y axis. So this means that we need to fix those UVs. So when you click on UV inside the edit mode, so make sure you are in edit mode, and then you can click on UV editing. You press A inside here, and then let's do S18. Okay, so when you just move it here, this means just to see that this small place now, let's, for example, this one, is now 1 UV. You can also click on this UV sync selection. So let's do approximately the same size, which is this. You can see now, as a reference, this is now 2 by 2 meters, approximately. Okay. So I think we can even go a little higher. So let me just press A. Sorry, let me just undo that. So let me just scale this a little more, like S1, sorry for that, escape. S1.2 means we just get it 20% more. And now I can just put it here, make sure the sync selection is enabled, and then approximately this one, you can see. Yeah. So now this is like one UV, like one material basically, and then we're going to have like repetitions. Okay. So this is like how many times this will have repetition. Okay. So press A, and then you can go to UV and then pack islands. And disable rotate and disable the scale. Disable the scale pack. Okay, so now this is like perfectly here on this UV snapped. And then maybe let's scale it even more, a little bit, like S1.2, like even more. Because I think this is still a little too big. Then pack islands, disable scale and rotate, and pack. Good. But of course we can save, and we can always come back and fix our UVs. Make it smaller, make it bigger, so save. So now we can just close the UV editing, so click on layout, and then we can get this one, all transforms. Again, so like everything, like the scale and location, rotation, everything is like now on reset, or has been resetted, or has been reset, I should say, and then file, export, FBX. Before we do that, let's check the statistics. So we have 250,000 faces, which is perfectly fine. Export, FBX. So for this whole terrain, right? For this whole terrain. And then let's do exports, side and hill, and I already did some things here, but don't mind that. Selected objects, click on this and export. And then just let me make sure that I will just save this again. And we can close this. And then we will just blocking things out in Unreal Engine.